Today I want to teach you how to make bread. This is the easiest recipe and I love it because as long as you follow its foundation, you can add things to it and you can make it your own. You will need the following ingredients: 1 cup of buttermilk, 2 large eggs, 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of baking soda, 1 teaspoon of salt, 5 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and in this case, I'm gonna do maybe a cup or a cup and a half of shredded cheese. You could also do mushrooms, you could do roasted bell peppers or tomatoes, any herb that you like, goat cheese, that'd be really good. You can make it your own by adding whatever you have in your fridge. You're making bread and eliminating waste in your kitchen. Today I'm using Shepherd's Grain flour because they use a sustainable and no-till farming method. For those of you who don't know, when you till the soil, it unfortunately increases soil erosion and it depletes nutrients. And eventually the soil will die, and if that happens, then we are. So supporting farmers who are committed to making our planet better, we all win. Okay, back to bread making. Directions: mix the wet ingredients and then mix the dry ingredients separately. You're gonna add the butter. Okay, sorry, I had to stop because I'm editing the video right now and I just realized that I never actually added the butter into it. Turns out that it worked just fine, it was still really good, but when it cooled down, it became a little bit more firm than I wanted it to be, so it definitely needs the butter. When you make it, add the butter, don't do what I did, okay? Okay, back to the video. It really works better if you cut it really small and fold it into it, but you can just melt it. That's what I'm gonna do today. Now, while this cooks, I will give you a little history lesson.
And here we go.
About 10,000 years ago, one of the main things that we ate was gruel or porridge, a combination of grains and water. And at around that time, we noticed that if we let the porridge sit for a couple of days, it would start to bubble up, creating the first sourdough starter. And if you let it sit even longer, eventually it would turn into a liquid that when you drank it, it would make you feel pretty good. And also, back then, it was the safest way to consume water. So everyone drank beer all the time. And this is when we went from hunters and gatherers to farmers, and ever since we've been using bread as our main source of fuel. If it wasn't because of bread, the world would not be what it is today. That's how important bread is. Bread was the main food for most people for most of recorded history. In my opinion, one of the reasons why so many people are gluten intolerant is because of the nutritional degradation of our soils. And because the bread that we know today, the one that we get at the store, is full of a bunch of shit that we cannot even pronounce. Real bread in its purest form should be only flour, water, salt, and a leavening agent, in our case, baking powder. That being said, there are people who have severe reactions to gluten and it should be taken very seriously. But the reason for that, in my opinion, remains the same: unhealthy soils and the addition of nasty ingredients into our food supply. This is why we need to stop supporting those who destroy our planet and instead support those who are doing things the right way, the way nature intended. All right, so now it looks like our bread is ready. We're gonna let it rest for a little bit so we can get it out of this pan. And then we'll slice it while it's still warm. Put a little bit of butter on it and enjoy the fruit of your labor. Super easy to make and insanely delicious quick bread. made with the best ingredients because our health and the health of our environment matter.